guy. That's my grandfather's thing. But I do my best to stay right here. I'm a little more animated than my grandfather is. So bear with me. To my young family, identification of your ultimate purpose in life is the most important thing in the world to me. We all know about the GPS on the phone. We all driving that GPS. Anybody can identify with that? That blue dot and that red dot, your destination. Your chief aim in life is that red dot on the map. If you don't know what that is, you are just on the highway driving aimlessly, wasting gas. Amen. So this right now, being your senior year for a lot of you, and you're deciding what school to go to, or do I even go to school at all in this day, I was sitting in that same spot thinking the same thing. The U.S. Navy was knocking on my door. My uncle is a Navy man. I had an acting scholarship in the balance as well. Do I go to school? You know, my family's a long line of educators. My grandparents, my mother, the list goes on. Or do I pursue naval pursuits? So my senior year was full of turmoil and stress and anxiety for me. And I chose to seek counsel from my sorors and my teachers and my school advisors and the pastor and my grandparents. But guess what? At the end of the day, the choice was on me where my life would go. Right now, you're in that spot. You're getting a lot of wise counsel from a lot of people that care about you. And they want to try to dictate and decide for you where you should go. At the end of the day, the choice is truly on you. I'm not saying that to scare you or intimidate you, but I want you to see the gravity of the situation. Whenever I made my choice to go to the Navy, I found myself in Great Lake, Illinois, shivering cold, freezing at 4 in the morning, thinking to myself, Lord, what have I done? And all that wise counsel and all the suggestions and all the advice, I realized this is a journey for myself. I am by myself alone in this moment. This is my cross to bear, if you will. So for you ladies and gentlemen, deciding your chief purpose in life, what you want to do with the rest of your life right now, is the most critical time. You can change. You can adjust. You can have redemption. But if you can avoid all the detours, then why not? Points to consider before I continue to my sorors. Can they get their phones out to take notes? That fine with you? Can they take their phones out?
I'm pretty sure they're already on.
Okay, so points to consider. Stop. If you're taking notes. What came to you easily as a child? When you were a very, very small child, what did you naturally do like that? Without much thought, without much effort. Maybe it's something musically. Maybe it's something drawing or creating or writing. Maybe you talk a lot like me, right? Maybe you have a lot of stick-to-itiveness. Whenever you're a child, it's called you hard-headed, you stubborn. Whenever you become an adult, you have persistence, you have will, right? Funny how that happens. But really, really think about what came to you earlier in life. Because sometimes we have a gift, we have a talent, and we shy away from it because other people are telling us to do other things. I want you to reconsider what was your original love. I'll pause right there. In the morning, I was trying to find this room, and I was in the front area accidentally, and I came across Mr. Murphy Owen, my original sensei, the Grand Master. But for me, martial art was my first love. In fact, the cover of my book is a brother kicking through the bricks. So I'm still a martial artist at heart. I ask you, what was your first love? Next point to consider, what do you normally get compliments on without trying? Maybe you dress well. Once again, maybe you just speak naturally with a leadership and a command. Maybe you put things together in a certain kind of way like nobody else can't do it. You're not trying to impress anybody. You're just doing you. Think about, what is that for you? What type of positive thought keep you up at night? I emphasize positive. Not worrying about what's on social media, not worrying about tomorrow's test, not worrying about who said what to who, all that who shot John. But whenever you're laying in bed at night and you can't wait to go and do your thing tomorrow, what is that for you? I know what it is for me. I can't wait to come and do stuff like this. I stay up all night tossing and turning. Not because I'm nervous, I just can't wait to grace the stage. I can't wait to get on this mic. I love empowering people. So any moment like this, I'm all night, all week, tossing and turning, going over notes, rehearsing. Because I can't wait. What is that positive thought you can't wait to do tomorrow for you? Oh. Lastly, the grand question for me. I was in church in Atlanta, Georgia, in 2005, and the pastor said something that really changed the whole trajectory of my life. He said, what would you do for free? What would you do with all-out effort for free? He said that, and at the time, I was an avid gym goer as a member of a gym. I said, you know what? I could just live in the gym for hours on end, 7 days a week, easily. Why wouldn't I do a job in the gym? And the very next day, I went to the gym, to the owner of Bally Total Fitness, Atlanta, Georgia, 3-story facility. It was huge, massive. I said, can I speak to you, sir? The GM. He said, you got a problem with your bill? I said, no, sir. He said, you have a discrepancy? I said, well, no, sir. He said, well, what is it then? I said, I want to be a personal trainer, sir. Now pause and remember, put it in context. Back then, I'm from Franklin. There was no Anytime Fitness. There was no Planet Fitness. I had never seen a personal trainer to even know it even exists before that moment. He said, okay, sir, are you certified? No, sir. Oh, I get it. You went to school for it, right? You got degrees in kinesiology and biology. I said, no, sir. But what is it then? I said, just give me a shot. Just give me a chance. I can learn easily. I have a lot of passion. Give me a chance. Please, sir. I don't know why to this day. But that man took a gamble on me and he said, come on. And as you may know, some of you in the room, I've been training for like 14 years ever since. I have owned my own gym at one time right here in the community. And I continue to empower people in fitness and health ever since. But it all started with one question. What would you do for free?
That's right.
I continue. Activation. This is my favorite part. I'm not good at many things. I'm not naturally gifted. I'm not tall, obviously. I'm not fast. I don't jump high. None of that. But my ability to act on something is insane. Mr. Keith, my mentor, who's here with me today, he gave me the most ultimate compliment about 3 weeks ago. We were sitting at a Subway having lunch before an event. He said, Sean, you don't procrastinate at all. And when he said it, I sat back in my chair and thought about it like, man, I've never heard that before. But I took ultimate pride in that. Activate. So you can identify all you want. If you don't act on it, it's nothing. You all had quotes this morning. You know this, I love quotes. I'm the master of quotes. I keep them in the back pocket all day. Take this with you. Nothing comes to a dreamer but a good night's sleep. You must activate with massive action, swiftly, right now. Don't wait. Find your chief aim in life and then do something about it. Come on. Right now.
That's right.
Send an email, make a phone call, go to a website. Whatever you can do right now, do it. Do what you can with what you have, because what you have is plenty. That's Les Brown. I love Les Brown. But the first thing it activated is establish your end game. Of course, you're very young. It's hard to see 5 and 10 years down the line. I know that. Even at my age, it's still hard to do that. But look at the big picture. Where do you ultimately want to go? Now, of course, in life, it could change how it looks. It could transform. I am no longer a personal trainer. But I realized something about me. From martial arts to basketball to personal training and now public speaking and writing, I love empowering people. I love helping people. I love instructing. That's the big picture. The core I use to do it, it doesn't matter. So what's your big picture? In chapter 7 of my book, What's Your Kick? Shameless plug. I talk about, like that, I talk about how do you reverse engineer your goal. I like that title. How do you reverse engineer your goal? You might say, so what does that mean? What I mean is, how do you take that big picture and make it into digestible chunks? Ask you a trick question. How do you eat a whale?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. That's right. So your goal could be so big and so wide, it could be intimidating. Like climbing Mount Everest. But if you keep your head down, and you keep your hands and your feet on the rocks, and you just climb, don't spend too much time with your neck like this, just climb. Before you know it, you will be on the summit.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I challenge you today to keep your head down and do the work. Dream big, expand your vision. We live in a global economy these days. You are not confined to the jobs that your grandparents and your parents had in this area. We have a lot of different things that didn't even exist in my childhood. You have access to it now.
Right.
So dream bigger than big.
Come on.
Yes, yes.
There are hundreds and thousands of universities internationally. You are not confined to SLCC, in Southern, in Grambling, in UL, to name a few. No diss to any of them. Just saying, you can go to school abroad. You can go to school anywhere. In my bio, she told you I was the University of Phoenix graduate 3 times. I was traveling heavily while I was in school. See, I was a grown man going to college. I had a family already, and bills and everything else. I always had 2 jobs in school. I wrote this book with 2 jobs and pursuing my master's. All of my friends in my circle said, Sean, why would you choose right now to write a book? That is crazy. But I was told it's always impossible until somebody do it.
That's right.
It's not impossible.
That's right.
So I challenge you all, think big, expand your vision, get a big picture and then do the work. Activate. Don't just dream. On that point, in reverse engineering your goal, in the chapter of my book, I give you an example of taking a goal that might take a year, and how do you reverse it to where, okay, now I know month by month, I need to do these things to be on track for that. And then go back, how do I go week by week to get that result in a month for that? And then ultimately, the most important, day by day, what should I be doing? You see, your red dot on that map, that dictates and governs your life. More than my grandparents' influence, more than my mama, more than religion, more than anything, my personal identification guides my life. I want to be a world-renowned public speaker and writer. That means I go to bed at a certain time. I get up at a certain time. I eat certain things I won't eat. What I drink, what I won't drink. What my weekend look like versus your weekend. Only identifying what I want can tell me the answer to all those questions. If I want to be a doctor, it'll look different than being an astrophysicist. Do you agree? So your day by day is dictated by you and what you chose for your big picture.
That's right.
Come on, man. Come on.
I continue. The last part, magnification. Right? Magnification. Always invest in yourself. See, once you identify your goal and you're taking action, it might cost to be the boss. It's a lot of kick out before you get something in. Knowledge, information, cost. I don't just mean money. I'm talking time. To me, time is the most important currency. Time. I can make money back. I cannot reclaim my time. So I challenge you all, invest, sacrifice for what you want. Always invest in yourself. It might look like you need some extra classes on the side, online. It might mean taking some money and traveling to a workshop, traveling to a seminar that's outside of your normal budget. It might mean investing in online resources and PDFs, things of that nature. It won't always be on the surface right in front of your face. That's why I wrote this book. You know what I did? I went to UL one weekend, to the UL library. Once again, I'm an online student. I'm a bookworm. I'm a nerd. I read insanity. So I said, man, University of Lafayette Library. I got to find a lot of good stuff for me in there. I go into the library, it's like what, 4 stories, something crazy like that. Go to the front desk lady, I said, point me to the African American section. I'm a history buff. I love history, specifically our history, right? She said, okay, 1 second. She go type in her little database. She couldn't find it. She goes to the bottom of the thing, put a big old school directory out. So now I knew something was kind of weird already, right? I didn't say that, I just kind of looked like. She flipped, she's all right. She wrote it down, gave me this section. I go upstairs and I'm texting my, I said, Mama, they got floors of books. And I find this section finally. And it's this small section that only covered like slavery and like right after slavery. I was hurt. I was disappointed. But and let me realize something. A person can go from kindergarten through PhD and not find themselves. I have a master's degree. Everything I know about myself is from my own personal self-study. As I was in college, I told myself one thing. For every chapter I read of theirs, I'm going to read 5 or 6 chapters of ours. Our scholars, our researchers, our historians, our doctors. We're talking to real Wakanda. Black excellence, right? But seriously, my point in that story is what you need might not be on the surface. You might not just get it at school. Don't assume that. And if you're a parent, another quote, take this down. If your child is only taught at school, they are taught poorly. It might not be at school. It might not be at church. It might not be in a place you think, well, you know what? I'm going to just go over here and I'm going to get what I need. It's not that simple. You got to search. Back to the investment in your time. Right? I proceed. My last point, ultimate point for me, find yourself a mentor. A young lady mentioned it. Mentorship is super important to me. I'm 36 years old. I'll be 37 in December. I travel now with my mentor. I kidnapped my mentor. Mr. Keith Joseph Nicholson. I stumbled upon him 4 weeks ago. I've been to his house every day, literally since. was just 5 minutes, just 10 minutes of his time. Because whenever I wrote What's Your Kick, I felt very good about being from Franklin, Louisiana, writing a book. A published author from Franklin. And then I met Mr. Keith Nickerson, a man that's published over 11 books. He is a literary genius amongst us. If he was James Patterson, or Tom Clancy, or John Maxwell, he would have security around him all day and a chauffeur. But in our community, for some reason, we don't uphold our gifted ones. All the man historians that I research, and we wear their shirts, and we say their names, and we give their quotes, they all died broke and penniless. Need a GoFundMe to bury it. We gotta stop doing that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So within 5 minutes of meeting Mr. Keith Nickerson on his porch, I told myself it is my duty everywhere I'm able to go, bring it with me. In the past month, I got a busy life. I've graced some radio shows, I've done school presentations, I've done church presentations, and he's always right there with me, as promised. That's how we respect our gifted ones. Our elders walking amongst us. A lot of gifts in this room. Let's uphold them and respect them. Right? So find yourself a mentor. Whenever you identify what your thing is, you find the best person you can in that lane. Once again, we're in a global world. So that person might not be in your city. You got FaceTime, right? You got Skype, Zoom. We got technology.
That's right.
And a lot of my mentors are no longer with us. I call it YU, YouTube University. I can watch all the Malcolm X I wrote. Malcolm X, Martin Delaney, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben. I can go on and on and on. I spent all night binging on my mentors. Technology is there. So in closing, I say, identify, activate, and magnify. Thank you very much.
So we want to thank Mr. Jonathan Polidor for the great speech. And I met Jonathan maybe probably like my first year after I came back from overseas. And Sean kind of changed my life as far as researching what I have to do. So yeah, Sean, thank you for coming. And we want to give this gift to you, and also gift our Debs and Bows with this book.
Job well done, Sean.
Yes.
And you've empowered not just the Debs and Bows, but us as well. Thank you. At this time, we would like to have the introduction of Sarah.